Down, drunk at Disorderlies 39, 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 39, 39, 39, 39, drunk at Disorderlies. All right. Hey. Welcome back to 1930. For another one of these like ridiculous podcasts.
Thank you for just rolling through episodes and just coming into this next one. I know you're just listening like a binge listener. Yeah.
Maybe you've been waiting for this for the whole week, or maybe you're just discovering us for the first time.
Maybe we advertised you last week and your show was 2 weeks ago.
No,
in which case, hey, rock and roll.
Congratulations.
Oh, God. I'm so sorry.
So what just happened is Lars ordered an Envy drink. It was the first cocktail that I've ever seen him order here.
It's the cocktail special tonight, and it's made with tequila, blue curacao, and pineapple. And then they clip a fake flower onto it with a clothespin.
It's actually quite large and loud in color, and somehow Lars missed it. And for those of you listening, it's now all over the desk.
I'm not used to having it next to me. My elbow's not used to hitting that. Look at this.
Well,
at some point
luckily the name of the game is 39 Drunk and Disorderly.
Right?
So if Lars wants to throw his lime green fucking cocktail of doom all over the table, I think.
What color?
Well, it's not lime. I'm green colorblind, so I know it is green.
Right now, our tech hand Jim is trying to help.
What did he even? Oh, okay, there it is. I should also mention this. I didn't buy this or pay for it. This was one of our audience members, a guest, first timer here for Monday Fun Day. Ray bought that for me. Give it up for Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
Right on.
Yeah. And he was.
We immediately get content, and it's all because of you. Here, I have some more of these.
It's all Ray's fault.
Around. You might want to use them.
All Ray's
Do you
fault.
like that he spilt it, or does it bother you in any way?
No, it's
Oh,
see?
Well, I guess we could have just
shushed
shushed that one.
This is why I don't drink drinks in things that are shaped like this.
I think Lars he was just pouring some out for all of our
all right,
homies.
we good?
So.
Oh, did it land on an SD card? Perfect.
It's okay. This stuff isn't made with sticky juice.
It's okay. All of the episodes are already online. We got some big news today. I'm gonna tell you guys. We're on like a bunch more platforms now.
We're blowing up,
and we're Apple Podcast pending. Once you go Apple, you never go back. So you could be listening to this on Apple, and this would be the first time, and we're pumped about it. Yeah,
I'm pretty stoked.
We're everywhere.
I'm pretty stoked.
How jacked are you?
I have absolutely no problem being objectified on any different device. I'm like, it's not a problem. If it's all about Apple and I don't go back, that's fine. We'll just core our way through this. We'll seed it out. It'll be readily delicious. You know what I mean? Whatever we need.
Right.
It's all about Apple.
If you're listening to this, though, you can also be watching it on Instagram or Facebook. We put little mini clips on Facebook and Instagram. And then the whole episode, Cifer, Pics, Karim right there, puts entire
Master
episodes.
Karim.
Massive.
Yeah.
Absolutely in
Full
charge.
episodes on YouTube. So you can watch that. If you're listening to this and you're like, what the fuck just happened? I got to see this. Lars knocked over a drink that Ray bought him. You could watch it on YouTube. Just scroll to it. I'd say it's about the 2-minute mark of episode 17.
So here we are, downtown Toronto, at the 1830.
1830, yeah, bar 1830. One more time, give it up for bar 1830.
All
right!
Beautiful aesthetic down here, beautiful drinks that you can buy and spill. They're great.
Right, this is an $8 cocktail special tonight that is normally about $14 or $15. So we got a deal, and then I spilled half of it.
Oh, and we're closed in. Okay.
So how was your week? How was you guys? I haven't seen you for fucking 7 days.
It's beauty, yeah. We had a good time last time we parted ways.
We went out a little bit and got almost drunk and disorderly ourselves. Not quite.
We had a good time, yeah.
Yep.
We went to this little hole in the wall, which is actually a hole in 2 walls because it's the outside of 2 venues that they created into a...
just basically bricked over.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
So that was kind of $4 beers.
One of these ironic games. Yeah,
everything. All I had was a 5, and you were going to get Lars was going to get cash, and I was like, oh, I got to get cash too. And she brought me my beer, and all I had was a 5, and she goes $4, and I said, damn, I'm coming back.
Right.
We're having a technical.
What was the name of this place?
Wide Open.
I think it's Wide
A
Open.
light just went out. What is happening, guy? Oh, there it is.
We have another fan just arriving. Hey.
Yeah.
Greetings.
Long-time
Late.
listener Sophie in the house.
Doesn't like to bring attention to herself, but comes in late alone. So We'll just draw attention to her.
Don't worry, we're not rolling, Sophie. None of this is on. It's never been on, actually. We're not recording. None of this is recording. It's all for show.
Just keep that in mind.
This was actually.
See, I made that creepy. That was me. That was bad. I'm sorry. That was not my intention. It was not really creepy. The bushes weren't rustling. It's fine. Everything is good.
We were sent here by the government to actually do some therapy on Bob and just get him to tell stories. And
yeah, it's true.
Just to get him to, like, you know.
Is that why you guys keep selecting me for jury duty?
How do you keep getting out of it?
Wow, actually, I'm glad you asked the question. I'm not even joking. I have the questionnaire in my bag with me tonight. Once again, they don't mail it to my new address, but Ashley, who was here a few weeks back, my ex-wife, Ashley, hey! Anyway,
and
she sometimes gets my mail, which is like, that's super heroic because you don't really want to get the things that people mail me, right? Like, you never know. It could be, like, interesting, right? So anyway, apparently every 5 years, the Ontario government decides that I need to do jury duty. I got the first summons for jury duty on my 19th birthday. Literally, like, the minute 1 year after you were legally allowed to do jury duty, they're like, wow, you should come do jury duty. So I didn't want to do jury duty at all, and I was living in a punk squat. And so I went, yeah.
I'm sure they were okay with
I tell you the truth, this is one of those stories. Like, this is, it's the raw truth. Because people don't tell you bad things about themselves unless they're real people, but this is one of those times, okay? I took a fucking ballpoint marker and I drew a swastika on my forehead before I wandered in for jury selection. And the prosecutor took one look at me and she's like, I think you're exempt. And I'm like, why? As flat deadpan as I could. I'm like, why? And she's like, sir, I think you know why. And I was like, yeah, I do. And I left. At the time, it seemed like a great way to not do jury duty. But I think they knew I was fucking with them. So every 5 years since then, I get selected for jury duty again.
So like, hey, it's that punk kid who tried to...
Yeah, it's that asshole who drew a fucking shit on his forehead, thought he was cool. Well, guess what? Jury duty.
We're coming for you.
You know what's fun? Jury duty. You know what you're going to get? Jury duty. You know when? Forever. Fuck with us, will you? Seriously. So at least the last time I went was supposed to be some murder case. And I showed up, and we were there for like
old murder.
3 days. 3 days. We had to go. I had to take 3 days off work, show up this place, sit there for like 4 hours waiting for nothing, sit in this court, nothing happened. And then finally the judge came in and told us, well, we reached a plea bargain, so there's not going to be any trial. You guys can all go.
Yes.
And I'm like,
so did that count for your jury duty, or?
Well, I guess, except that I just today got the fucking pamphlets for jury duty again. And I'm like,
you should do it, and we'll record it as an episode.
Yeah,
we'll come with you.
We'll come with you.
But what jury of anyone's peers do you want me to sit on? Like, to be honest with you, if they're my peers, they're probably guilty, and I'll know them and be like, oh, hey, it's that guy. I don't know him. They're like, well, is he guilty? Probably not.
I think you'd make a great jury member. I
Yeah,
feel like
see, that's
you're
the
actually a
problem.
good judge of character.
You gotta be
You've
jury-
been in all this shit.
jury member
like,
one who's like talking, who's like, Your Honor, we.
Yeah.
Although
you
if they
should-
keep ordering food, I'll be the contrary one every time. Like, well, I think we have to relive evidence from all 5 witnesses because it's almost 5:30, and I know that Ho Szechuan is open till 9. So I think we're going to get that dinner order in, and then we'll go over the evidence again for a while, and we'll talk about, I want to go home. I don't have any family. I don't care. We're going to stay here until we die.
and eat. Lars makes a good point that because of your experiences, your moral compass would shed a lot of light on some of those circumstances.
Well, I might. Or I might just decide, like, fuck this, miscarriage of justice. Let's make this happen.
Anarchy.
See, we haven't got to the culmination of how the whole 39 drunk disorderlies thing became a reality. And when I do, you'll understand why my respect for the court system is just a little bit diminished. I'm not going to say non-existent because, hey, I'm not in jail and that's cool. But I will tell you this, and I will tell you this again, and I will keep telling you this. If the judicial system worked the way it was supposed to work, I'd be doing this interview videotape styles in an orange jumpsuit, okay? That is just the nature of the world we live in. Sometimes you walk free, and sometimes you really fucking walk free. To the point where you go to turn yourself in for things because you want your day in court, and they're like, we can't prove you're you. You have to leave. What? I have to leave? Other guys are getting arrested for minor possession. Like, we think you might be maybe possibly this guy. To prison! And I'm like, I am this guy. We don't know about that. You should leave. Okay. I guess I'm leaving. We talked about this in an earlier episode. Your name is always Peter Parker. Right? Because an alias, even if it's a stupid one, if they don't actually tackle you and find ID on you and like, oh, I don't think so, they will write down almost anything. And worse than that, that's legally binding. If they misspell your name, it's not you. Like I said. So always lie. If you have no ID on your person and someone, no. If, and,
You hear
and
that,
you
kids?
Always lie.
Always.
If you don't have ID on you and someone grabs you for an offense, you just simply say, yeah, like, my name is like Philip O'Keefe. I was O'Keefe and things. It's all good. We're fine.
My name's J. Crew.
I just want to go home, and I'm sorry. And the guy's like, oh, that's pretty shitty. You're visiting the public, blah, blah, blah. Here's a ticket. Write it down. Jimmy fucking O'Keefe. Fucking, I want to go home. Ticket passed. You show up in court. You're like, I'm Jimmy O'Keefe. I want to pay my ticket. They're like, do you have ID to prove you're Jimmy O'Keefe? You're like, nope. They're like, we can't prove it's you, sir. You better leave. But you better sort that out because, Mr. Jimmy O'Keefe, sir, we're going to send creditors after you.
We're watching you.
Well, fuck Jimmy O'Keefe's fucked. Like, that guy's paying some fucking fines, you know what I mean?
You do not want to be Jimmy O'Keefe.
No, you don't.
Or somewhere there's a guy named Peter Parker who's not who's not the Marvel comic character who's just been fucked his whole life by you 39 times.
No, he gets arrested. And the cops are like, you're not 6'11". You know what I mean? And he's like, what? What do you mean?
It's like, what is going on? I like how this podcast is half podcast, half confession. I feel like this is Your Honor, we would like to bring forth episode 17 as evidence, and that would be brilliant. That would be the best PR ever.
I've been very careful to keep the statute of limitations in mind as I tell these stories, okay? Let's just be clear here, all right?
That's why you got to come out live, because you get some sidewalk stories after the set that don't go on air sometimes.
You'll hear some shit.
Come to the live shows.
And for all you private detectives or plainclothes officers out there, this might just be fiction.
Right. Most
because,
of
it as long as I say that at least once, then I'm not going to jail, and that's fantastic. So
it's like some of the people may appear, sound like the names, all we call them
true, look like them.
We call them true tall tales.
The method acting, it's important.
Right, he's really good. He's really good.
I'm amazing.
Ashley's not a real person. We made her up completely.
No, she's not here. Did you put a camera on Ashley so she's here?
None of this is real. Jim's not a real guy. Karim's not a real guy. None of this is real.
So, speaking of nothing of this is real, I wanted to talk today, the story of the day, I wanted to talk about ultra violence in bars. Because I've worked in bars for half my life.
We always talk about that, don't we?
Yeah, but this is one specific, two specific stories that illustrate what I was talking about with my love-hate relationship with the law enforcement end of our society. The love relationship comes from the fact that we got two more audience members just arriving. So I'm going to break for a second. My buddies Aaron and Jay.
Everybody gets shout out.
Good friends of mine. Known them for a long time. So they'll probably understand what I'm saying when I say this.
Well, while we're on that, I should point out we got Adam from Contact Films.
Yes, hello, boys.
Contact Adam here. Contact Adam is how it goes. Look,
I only do the yellouts if I know your name for sure.
That was my
Otherwise, it's like, hey, it's that guy I saw before. He's coming in the back room. Wait, no. Wait, that's just the waiter. Sorry.
It's a new waiter.
Anyway, so the love and hate relationship with law enforcement. So I love law enforcement because it's a necessary evil of society. Like, we require control. We're idiots. Like, human beings generally. And the more of them that you put closer together, the stupider we seem to be.
Right.
Like, that's just the nature of things. It's the ant-hive mob mentality, right? 1% of the mob's intelligence controls 90% of its action, yada, yada, yada.
I mean, look what we're doing right now.
But yeah.
Case in point.
But at the same time, individual representatives of these organizations can be so ludicrously corrupt and or dumb and or just, mind-bogglingly wrong in the moment that it's difficult to justify the rest of them. It's like, what the fuck? We all have those moments, we watch something on TV, we watch something, it just hits you. It's like, we have to retrain all of these people. Like, I don't know what, and I'm not going to speculate. But I'm saying everyone's had that moment. I'm not, you take one, you're like, wow. This is not just like, this guy's an idiot. This is something is fucking fundamentally just, this is not working. Whatever this is not working.
Do you not have a specific you can't go into?
I'm not going to. No, for legitimate reasons. I do not think this podcast is political, and I don't want to go there with it. I never have. I keep my personal opinion. This is storytelling. This is life experiences that we can all relate to, and politics is personal. And I think that we could cite or we could pick and we could choose, but the problem is that would lead into a discussion of our personal politics, and I just don't know if that's the format that we're looking for.
Not tonight, anyway.
Also, for the record, not a Nazi. For the record, he's not a Nazi. He was just fucking with them. That was Penn. He was just being an idiot. Not a Nazi. Correct? Correct. I was joking. Come on.
Wow. But I just finished my Shrine to the Fuhrer.
Right.
No, of course I'm not a fucking Nazi.
I know.
I'm an Irish Scotsman, for Christ's sake. Anyway.
So fundamental societal flaws, you were saying.
Yeah. It's personal experience that people have to live with. Right? So my personal experience has both been cops have saved my ass and they have fucked me over. In about equal measure. But the funniest stories are usually the ones where it gets caught somewhere in between. So my favorite is I used to work at a rave bar. It was the first legalized rave bar in Canada. It was right across the street from the Art Gallery of Ontario. I don't know if any of you know. It's called the Weave. Yeah.
Shout-outs.
We got to shout out the Weave back there.
Nice.
The Weave? I've never.
So anyway, literally it was the only place in downtown Toronto where they'd have like 12-hour, all-night, like fucking raves. Intense. I mean, like, just
Intense?
not intense.
Oh, okay.
Intense.
Gotcha. No, I legit thought he meant intense. I was just clarifying for our listeners. That's
Just
why I'm
making
here.
sure you
Just to
kill
clarify.
the flow. part with Lars killing the flow. Anyhow, so it was a very intense place to
Gotcha.
work. Even if I was in a tent, it would still be intense, right?
Exactly.
And that's camping for you. But anyhow, so one night, a few drug dealers, and by a few I mean like 8 guys, decided they have a problem in the downstairs area of the bar. And I kind of wandered into the middle of it. And it blew up, like, all around me. And
Don't Lars, don't touch that one.
So suddenly I'm fighting 8 guys. It was intense. There's canvas everywhere. Like, you almost got caught in the mosquito netting. But anyway, so I'm just making sure we don't get any more of that, right? Like, so anyway.
You beat me to the punch.
So anyway, I'm fighting these guys. I'm crushing this dude with a table. I broke a bottle on this guy's head. I'm fucking choking this dude. I kicked one guy in the shin hard enough to break his shin and make him fly face first onto the ground. Because remember my motto, if you're going to fight, do it right away and mean it. And I say that and I fucking mean it. Because frankly, a lot of people think, oh, pushing you around, talking shit for a while, it's going to get them somewhere. Yeah, the hospital. That's where I send them. Like, yo, good night. Done. I don't have to deal with that shit anymore. It's over, right? So anyway, I'm fighting these guys. I'm pushing this table against these dudes in the back corner. I think everything's all right. I get grabbed on the shoulder. So I spin around backwards and throw an elbow out. And I feel the crunch. And I know I broke the nose because that's what I was aiming for. And I'm like, perfect. We're done. We're good. Then I hear, please, motherfucker.
Oh, shit.
Look at click, click. I turn around. The guy's got a gun on. He's got his badge in his one hand with his gun, and he's holding his face. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, yeah. Woo. I'm like, okay, man. Like, I'm the bouncer. I work here. Like, I was in the middle of, you know what I'm saying? Like, like all these guys under a table in the far corner of the room, right? And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like,
There's a melee.
I was busy, and he's like yelling at me. And the older officer comes in behind him and throws a hand on his back and goes, calm down, calm down. He goes, you didn't identify yourself.
Right.
You just grabbed a guy in the middle of a melee.
Nice.
You didn't say, I'm a cop, blah, blah. You didn't do shit. You didn't do nothing. You grabbed the guy, and you broke your nose. Like, you broke your nose and shattered your face. Like, your fucking face is fucked. So just chill out now and, like, blah, blah, blah.
Rookie mistake.
And I'm like, we're going to the video replay. You know what I mean? Like, that's always my defense when I work in bars. I'm like, you've seen me do it. I did it. Of course I did. I'm not going to deny that I did it. But that's the camera. I want to show you why. So it starts off with a couple guys talking shit, a couple more guys talking shit. Then a guy punches me in the face, and another guy grabs a bottle. And then I'm like, enter beast mode. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's done.
It's on.
It's on. It's on like Donkey Kong, right? Rock and roll. Let's do this thing. Like I said, seriously? And right away. So I'm fighting, right? And so at the end, the cops basically told me, as they were like, no charges pressed and blah, 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 that if I had done that kind of damage or had that kind of physical altercation with any one of those 8 individuals, I would have been charged with massive excessive force. But because there were 8, the 3 that went to the hospital with serious injuries were considered acceptable under self-defense, right?
Yes.
So that was one of the times that the cops and their regulations were not particularly unuseful to me. I was like, yeah, I was probably guilty of 5 massive assaults, and I walked away from that with nothing more than, here's your security license back, Mr. Malcolm. Have a fantastic weekend. And I was like,
Good job, yeah.
and even the guy with the fucking broken nose and the 2 black eyes was like, yeah. Have a good weekend, man.
You're a good Samaritan is what you are.
Wow, you got your lick in. You're free.
There is also times, however, when for absolutely no reason whatsoever, I've been stopped and detained on a street corner for up to an hour while they try and figure out who I am. And when I say with this ghosting thing, it's really stupid. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know what I did. I don't know how it happened. But I lived off the grid for a while. I didn't pay any bills of my own. I didn't have any bank account. Didn't have nothing. Really, and eventually you get to the point where you don't have a mailing address. You don't pay any bills. You don't have credit ready. There's no way for them to prove who the fuck you are. So you're staying on a street corner with no fucking photo ID, and you're like, this is my old library card, and maybe I'm somebody. Wait a minute. I've got. Oh wait, this is yeah, that'll do. It's like this is my Kmart points card, and they're like, dude, this could be anybody, and I'm like, well, it's me. It's all I got. They're like, well, you're not anybody. 45 minutes later, still checking IDs, running things through the computer, and I'm like, man, I'm a block away from home. My dad lives there. Let's just go to my house. They'll tell you who I am. The guy's like, I don't know. I'm like, what am I going to run? I'm the biggest guy on earth. Put it on APB for some huge friggin' guy. You'll rope me in, okay? I'm walking a block. I'm asthmatic. I'm a smoker. I'm not walking that fucking fast. Right? We get to the door. I bang on the door. Dad opens the door. It's lady's like, what the fuck? I'm like, the cops think I'm nobody. Guys, my dad's like, son of a bitch, is my idiot son, and he's fucking drunk in the middle of the street, so what the fuck? And the cop's like, oh, will you sign to that? He's like, of course I'm fucking idiot son, fucking, you know what I mean? It's deranged.
Now you just showed them the podcast. You're like, just whip out your phone, go to Spotify, 39 Drunk and
No,
Disorderlies.
the best part is,
me.
these guys spend so much time on their phone on the computer, I'll be like, yeah, 39DD, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, oh, yeah, wait a minute. It's right here. You mentioned us a couple times. We're thankful. 45 division is great.
How many licks have you got in against
A few.
the police department?
Oh, licks.
You mentioned that one where you got
I
shot
busted
at,
a pair of
right?
handcuffs one time in a park, and I threw a tiny Mexican female cop over the hood of her car.
Right, we've heard that's one of the major
on
episodes.
accident.
That was on
sort
there.
of.
Pure accident.
Well, it wasn't an accident. I was just too fucked up to know what I was doing. It was a stupid kid fucking retarded move. There's no accidental about it. You don't pick someone up basically and throw them over the hood of a car by accident. That's like when you kick your brother and your mom's like, what happened? And you're like, it was by accident. And everyone's like, really? You kicked him in the face by accident? What were you doing? Goose stepping across the living room?
Yes.
That one was just for Lars. That was just for Lars.
Oh, yeah, good one. Tie that one back.
That's great.
Foreshadowing. powerful literary tool.
We don't like to talk about how many free licks you have against the police department on this show.
Although I'll tell you this, though. When I was a kid and I almost chopped a kid in the face with an axe, the cops were really there for me. Like they were. It was intense.
All right. We need to elaborate, I believe. Who wants to hear about when he almost chopped a guy's head off as a kid? Yeah? Right? Jim does. We all do. Yeah.
All right, so
Here we go.
I didn't actually intend to tell this
buckle
story, but
up.
there we go. Here's the story. So, all right, I used to go to school in the East End, and a lot of the guys I went to school with were like jack-off, hood rat, shit-fuck, motherfucking assholes.
Classic
who
Easy Workers.
I frankly want nothing to do with ever again in my life, and I'm glad most of them are in jail and or dead. Huzzah. But that being said, this one motherfucker decided that him and his friends who picked on me a lot during that period in history were going to follow me home and have his younger brother beat me up with a combination lock on his finger like a pair of brass knuckles.
Wow.
So they were slapping me around. It hurt pretty good because, you know, steel can do that to your face pretty quickly, right? And I was not really that much of a fighter, if you can believe it, back then. I was a much more passive guy. I didn't know what was up with that, you know. I was just a big kid with a lot of fucking artistic intent. And I guess that meant that I got my ass kicked a lot, so I did. And I got into my house, and the guy said, yeah, it's going to happen every day. He's like, you're just going to fucking learn to live with it. And I was like, just 200 yards from my front porch. And something in my little head was like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to learn to live with that. It's not going to happen. In fact, I don't think I can live with that, period. So I took a run to my front porch, jumped in the front door. The first thing I saw was nothing. It wasn't like I went hunting around looking for weapons, right? But my dad and I are avid campers. We're outdoors people, right? There's shit around the house. Right there on the porch, there's a hatchet just sitting there. And I'm like, yep, that'll do. Up it comes, out the front door, running back up the street, screaming like a fucking barbarian, just losing it. Tears come down my face. I'm like, yeah, things are different now. Woo! Right?
How old were you?
I don't know, man. 11, 12.
Nice.
And
6, 7? What?
6'4".
Nice.
Wow.
Terrifying.
But anyway, the same adults who were standing around on corners and what, not helping me when I was getting hurt, are all standing there going, oh my God, right? I come flying up to this kid, and he's standing there, and he's taking a lock away from his little brother, and he's standing there, he's like, yeah. And I saw in his eyes that his life was so absolutely fucking worthless, he didn't care. I'm not kidding. There was nothing there. I was like, you don't have any reason to live at all. And I'm like, there's nothing that I can do to you that's better than that. I just stopped right where I was, and I'm like, you know what, go fuck yourself. I said, I will defend myself, so let's not ever fucking play this game again. But you go home, you fucking live with it. This is you. Look at this. Jesus fucking Christ. You know? And he turned and walked off, and I buried the axe into this folks' telephone pole as hard as I fucking could, and like screamed at the sky in frustration, because there's nothing you can do at that point. All that rage, all that adrenaline has nowhere to go. Then I thought to myself, you know what? There's 50 witnesses out here. There's no way you're walking away from this one. So I pulled the axe out of the pole, walked home, threw it on the porch, went back to school, went to my favorite teacher right in the schoolyard and said to her, okay, well, this is what happened, and outlined basically exactly the same fucking story. I'm like, because I just told her. And she was like, okay, I believe you. These guys have been picking on you all year. I believe it. So to the office I go, and they called these detectives, and these two guys came down, plainclothes guys, and they asked poignant questions of everybody. And it turned out Buddy Guy and his brother and his cousin, these fucking assholes who've been harassing me, well, 3 of them had criminal records for minor possession and assault and yada, yada, yada. And I had nothing, just a kid who got beat up a lot by assholes like that, you see? And these cops basically said to the guy, look, we're not going to press any charges against this kid, and if you do, we're going to press charges on you. Because you assaulted him with a weapon and he defended himself. So basically what you can do is go home and sort out whatever the fuck it is that's wrong with you. And this kid's going to try and cope with the fact that he didn't kill you. And I have. I've coped with that. I still wish I'd killed them, to be fair. But that's something else altogether. I just think that sometimes shit in, shit out, right? You know, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and there really isn't such a thing as a sacred existence. If you are a piece of human garbage, you probably deserve to disappear. That's just the nature of life. Most animal groups understand this. We pretend that we don't, but fuck that. We don't know how that is, right? So like I said, the police issue with me has always been an interesting one, because sometimes they've been in my corner. They've helped me out when shit's been intense. And other times they've just been irrationally strange for no particular reason. You know? But I think also working in like the after hours in the strange like nocturnal community, I have a different rapport with the police than like your average citizen would. Because A, I interact with them a lot more frequently. And B, over 25 years you work a beat, you're going to recognize me. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be like, I don't know who this guy is. So the guy comes to, you know, the door of the same fucking booze can 5 or 6 times, and it's me standing there. And the question, do you work here, stops being asked. They're just like, so what's going on tonight, Bob? And I'm like, well, nothing you wouldn't expect. So, okay. Blah, blah, blah. I don't have any tickets, never have, never gotten a single one, which is amazing because literally every other employee I know who's worked in booze cans has had a ticket or 2 over the years.
What would you get a ticket for there at the booze can?
Proceeds of crime, working, liquor license infractions. I mean, they're municipal offenses.
Aren't they paid off or something like that, or how does that work?
Usually not. Usually not. I mean, your boss might if he's a good guy. But a lot of these guys are shysters. They own fucking, like, illegal booze cans. What the fuck do they care about you? You know what I mean? Like, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're busy running their illegal booze cans.
Yeah,
You know what
pretty
kind of-
much.
you know
So
what
no,
kind of
I'm serious.
lifestyle you have to have
No,
to
but it's
run
true.
one of those?
It's true. Like, I mean, some guys will take care of you. Some guys won't. It depends on the circumstances of the relationship you have, I guess. But, like, on average, they figure, and most guys do, and I can understand this as a, you know, purely fundamentalist capitalist point of view. Well, I pay you very well, so you should be able to take care of your own problems. The only difference is it's a $1,500 fucking problem. You know what I mean? You don't pay me that fucking well. But anyhow, again, that's not where I'm going with this. But yeah, no, I mean, the relationship you have with the police, when you see them all the time, you deal with them all the time.
But I guess they're all different people, right? So
Well, that's exactly it.
That's it.
And if you just treat these guys like a dude on the night shift, it's amazing the reaction you'll get. Like, oh man, late night, having a hard one, huh? And like, yeah, we're standing in a illegal booze can. Yeah, dudes are probably doing coke in the back room behind me. Yeah, there's a really good chance we sold like $5,000 of illegal booze in the last 10 seconds. But you and me talking right here is just 2 guys, middle of the night, working a late shift. Both of us are all tired, like bleary-eyed, like, yeah, it's 4 in the morning. Been a long fucking day. Bunch of schizophrenic crackheads like fought each other in the street with baseball bats or something. And now I'm fucking here in this shithole with you. Like, oh, it's been a hard night. And I'm like, yeah, man, it's ridiculous. Fucking, I understand, man. I get it. I'm right there with you.
I'm on your side.
The guy's like, yeah, you're right there with me, man. I get it. I'm like, so what do you guys need tonight? Nothing. I'm fucking get the fuck out of here. I don't need paperwork on this shit. You know what I mean? Man, fuck off.
At the end of the day, we all just want to go home to bed. That's really the bottom line for all of us.
So when they bust a booze can or whatever, like come in and ruffle the feathers, like, is the place shut down for a couple days? Like,
Depends entirely. It depends absolutely entirely on whether management is willing to foot the bill and just reopen again. That's just like the pot fucking dispensaries that keep getting closed.
Right.
They went and fucking put concrete blocks up and sealed the front doors off. The next fucking day, they were wide open for business again.
Because he hired. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously,
He hired
100%.
a forklift to take it back off. That's crazy.
It's plugged in.
Yeah.
Not even. They called like some guy named like, hey Juan, I'm gonna give you $2,000. Come down here with your fucking pickup truck and your jack winch and fucking get rid of these concrete blocks. My favorite is one of the locations. They actually jack rigged the fucking system. They called in and said that since it was partially a residence upstairs, someone was trapped inside.
Yeah.
So the city had to come and move the blocks that they put there themselves. That's genius. Like, you did all the work to put the blocks there. I just called you. You couldn't even prove I didn't sneak in through the back window or something because there's nobody there. Right? And then it's like, oh, I got trapped inside. You got to let me out. So they come back and move the blocks. And the guy's like, yeah, like, Fucking clown shoes, man.
Punked.
Yeah. Yeah. Like in the 80s, it'd be like, you're on candid camera, and this is Canada's fucking pot policy. Like, what the fuck?
It's a joke. It is a joke.
Julian fucking Fantino controlling one of the largest pot distribution companies in country. This is the hard-on crime Toronto fucking police mayor. Like the police chief, rather. Sorry. Hard-on crime. Sent so many fucking assholes up the river for pot. Is now a pot baron. Like, can we say 1984? Like, government. This is the Department of Honesty. This is the Canadian Weed Board. It's like, you only go to jail for 25 years, and then I'll sell it to you. Like, what the fuck?
But we're not getting political tonight. It's not happening.
Right, never. Nice.
We don't want to go there.
Thanks, Trev.
Good.
Thank you, Trev.
Should we throw it to...
Sorry, weed's not political. It's personal.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's fucking personal.
Well said.
Should we throw it to toss the audience mic out there? You're allowed to comment on anything that Bob's talked about tonight. Share your story. Ask him some general questions about what it was like to be a kid and be bullied. I would never peg you as the guy that got bullied as a kid, but it makes total sense.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
I had two friends in grade school. One was 6'1" in grade 6. The other one was just like a big dude. He was probably like 6 foot as well. And they got bullied on a lot. And they were like the biggest guys. I don't know. It's like
you get
it's like,
bullied because you're different.
It's and
That's
it's like a pack mentality where it's they're different and they're like it's
Right.
all of us hyenas can take down this like
Lion.
Yeah, exactly.
or elephant,
or whatever.
giraffe.
Right.
Well, that's all great from short guys speculating, but the truth how a guy who's really big gets bullied when you're that big is that you don't want to fight back because you are a better person than that, or so you think, and you are guilty about the idea of hurting others, even though others hurt you, until you get to a point where someone like my father, who is one of my personal fucking heroes, says, Robbie, if you're going to get your ass kicked every fucking day, you come home, beat up, bloodied, and bruised, he's like, I don't want you to start fights, but if they're coming for you, finish one or two. Very next day, put the fucking boot sauce to this motherfucker. I trounced the guy. I trampled his ass like a mammoth run, okay?
That's great.
He was fucking done. Finito, to the point where the daycare worker called home and was like, your son, who was in grade school, kicked the shit out of some high school kid so badly he's picking up his teeth with broken fingers. You know? And my dad was like, well, he's been complaining about this for quite some time, about kids kicking the shit out of him every day, and you've done absolutely the square root of fucking nothing. So I guess what? Maybe you should help the kid with the broken fingers pick up his fucking teeth. Send my son home. He's fine. And I was like, yes, Dad.
Nice.
You are like the best man in the world. So yeah, one more time. My dad is one of my fucking personal heroes.
Parental
That's a fucking-
pass.
He's now one of my personal heroes. That was fucking inspiring. What a
And he,
great
like
dad.
I said, he never once was like, be a tough guy. You got to go punch a guy in the throat. Be up like a man. Never. Not one fucking time. But when I was getting my ass handed to me and just wouldn't fight back, he knew I could. He knew I could. He was just like, you're not because of, stuff. Don't. These kids are hurting you. Like, defend your fucking self.
I guess.
Right away, mean it.
Does anyone have any good like revenge, defend, like get back stories? Anybody?
I've been beat up by some girls because I didn't fight back. In grade 4, one
Yeah.
girl hit me with her mailbox repeatedly, and I just
Her
took
mailbox. Is it like?
it.
Was it
And-
like?
or, did I say mailbox? I meant lunchbox. So sorry. So sorry. It was like a plastic.
Wow, that changes the fucking narrative dramatically.
Wow. That's a
thinking like
funny
a cartoon
Freudian
moment,
slip.
like-
Yeah. Wow. No, lunch pail. It was like a.
And then she never called him back.
Right. It was like My Little Pony lunch pail, just repeatedly over the head. Yeah.
Yeah, I got stilettoed.
And then one other time, I was getting souvlaki at one of those after souvlaki huts in London,
Souvlaki?
Ontario. If you've ever been to London, Ontario, they're called Sammy Souvlaki. Am I just pronouncing it
Souvlaki?
wrong? Why are you getting mad at me? Souvlaki? I say it's potato, souvlaki,
Souvlaki, yeah.
Whatever. Seriously.
We're good.
After everything I've said tonight, that's what you're calling me on? My pronunciation of
You're
souvlaki?
Right, for all the Mediterraneans in the room, we're wildly
So sorry.
insensitive,
Pronunci-
okay? Just you did.
pronunciation.
If you hadn't figured that fucking shit out by now,
It
mazel
is-
tov.
it
Right?
is-
It's happening.
It is baklava, though, right? Baklava? It's baklava, right?
And Meshuggah.
It was after the other one. Just briefly, was after the bar. There was a crowd of. I think you'll like this because I feel like I was being virtuous in the moment, even though I was being a drunken asshole. My time when I was at Western is my time where we.
I don't know if those
really
two are
would've
mutually
vibed.
exclusive or not. Well, we'll
Listen,
see.
you'll hear. You've been a drunken asshole a million times. You know it. But at the end of the day, you figure it out, and you're like,
That's
for the greater
point.
good. Yeah.
Oh, you mean I lie about it? Okay, let's get on with it.
So there was a crazy drunken crowd outside this souvlaki hut, Sammy Souvlaki's, a bunch of us, and then is that really?
All right,
making
we're
you guys
just done.
mad?
We're done with the
I can't tell
souvlaki
this-
thing. It's over, all right?
Okay, fine. Souvlaki.
We've gone too far. We've gone too far.
Souvlaki.
We've taken.
Souvlaki. Am I pissing off an entire country right now? I feel like you guys are bullying me now. I'm just trying to pronounce words the best I can, and now you're all souvlaki. Zuv. Suv.
All right. So tell us.
So
Listen, you were outside the undisclosed restaurant that
it's-
sells fucking
it's-
food
it's
and
winter.
wraps, okay?
It's
And
winter, drunk 2:30 after the bar.
Boom.
And car rolls in, almost hits a bunch of us. Like they're drunk. It seemed
they
like
were
they
eating
drunk.
wraps, so continue.
Souvlaki.
Ah!
They were coming for souvlaki. The sound guy, don't ever give me that. Okay, we're getting there. People are loving this. This is a moment. And so they almost hit us, and then I, being like the spokesperson for the group, I start giving them shit for like, wow, you're just gonna pull your car into a crowd of people? Like it was kind of fucked up. Like they sort of plowed a car without really hurting anyone. They did that, and they were like super drunk, super sassy fraternity girls or sorority girls, and they just started giving it back to me, and then they just started wailing on me and like scratching me and shit, and I was just holding back. So much so, in the middle of the fight, one of them slipped on ice, and she did like this and was falling back and was gonna fall on ice, barehead, and I fucking caught her mid-fight, grabbed her, picked her back up on her feet, and then she just kept fucking beating me and scratching me. My buddies had pictures of me. I looked like I got the shit beat out of me, and it was 3
'Cause you
sassy
did.
drunk girls. I did, but I didn't fight back. That was the reason. I could have taken 3
Like,
girls, but I'm not
5
going
bitches
to.
like that, you make Voltron. Like, that's Battle Cats. Like, you're in the middle of that, like, getting scratched the fuck up, and you're like, oh, no, I'm not getting hurt here. Ah, my eye!
I knew there was cameras. I'm not getting caught outside the souvlaki hut beating up girls, all right? You bring it out of context. That last one was for you. Okay. I get it.
It's okay. If he was caught outside the souvlaki house beating girls, no one would fucking
So
believe
sorry.
it. So
that's my story. Trevor?
Yeah, write in and tell us about how you pronounce souvlaki.
Souvlaki. Yeah, we should poll the audience.
please,
Karim?
please fucking don't.
We got audience mic.
the
Is
mic
Karim
working?
gonna go for it here?
I don't know if I should tell a story.
Have you been to the
because-
souvlaki house?
Yeah, of course.
Were you there with this
originally,
guy beating up chicks?
being beat
I
up by
didn't
chicks,
beat
same
them
thing.
up. I saved them mid-fight while they were beating me up.
Hashtag that's not what I heard.
It's on closed circuit camera. People saw it. I was a hero. Legit.
That's
I get free souvlaki every
that's
time I
what
go
heroes
back.
do.
Sure.
That's what heroes do. They get free souvlaki and get scratched to shit by a bunch of bitches in the street.
Right.
Yes, it was.
Kareem, please.
Yeah, so I've been in a couple of fights, as you already know, and I had a few questions for Bob. Since you've been in a lot of fights too,
Yeah.
how many bones do you think you've broken?
That's a great question.
Where? Oh, of mine or
no,
or
no, no, like of
generally?
your opponents.
Oh,
You had to ballpark it.
wow.
Maybe start with how many humans' bones you broke, and then extrapolate to how many bones.
Sorry, so you're starting with human bones and then going
How many
to.
people's bones have you broken?
Then we're going into what, like alien bones,
Right.
animal
50
bones.
maybe?
50 bones?
50?
Yeah.
That's a
When
good
you
number.
consider, when you consider jaws, teeth, fingers, it gets probably to the hundreds, and right, because it's different. Because like fingers, you break fingers all the time. Like you block,
Yeah.
and the guy hits your wrist, and you hear the snapping sound as his pinky's going to hit you, and it's like, ah, ha, ha, I know that broke, and he goes, and it's all pointy in the funny way, you know. Or like, you hit the guy, and it's like the clicking noise, like, and there's other jaws, but it's not really like a devastating break. When I consider breaks, it's like when you grab something and you twist it so it breaks like a green twig, like just goes, or like over the knee, like the big old dirty bone snappers.
What do you
Or under the arm. When you get the lock under the arm and you throw it up hard and twist back, and you hear the shoulder or the collarbone go, because that one, they're under tension, right? They actually make quite a bit of noise. The collarbone specifically, it kind of twangs, as well as the break sound. So like it's a little.
It's about the same noise as like when you play with an elastic band.
Yeah.
And the shit snaps.
Yeah.
It's the exact
Really?
same noise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
That's very true. That's very true. Like I said earlier when I told you about the guy I kicked in the shin, he was coming at me, and I was running steel toes like I usually do.
I was gonna ask.
And I stepped into him with a full straight kick right to the shin. And he was leaning forward, so it just broke. And he went right down onto his face onto the ground. But the leg actually flipped up behind him, like it kicked out from behind him, and then did this like sort of back and forth because it was, like the break's here, right? So it has a new fulcrum to do this kind of fishtail thing. So he did this really cool like mermaid kick before he fell on his face, and then laid there squealing, and I was like, that was a kick. Yep.
What do you think the largest bone you've broken is in a body? So that would be tibia and fibula.
I broke a guy's spine
Tibia and fibula, a spine. That's a big bone.
playing football.
Wow.
How?
How many noses? How many noses do you think you've broken?
Dozens and a couple of
Well,
coughs.
this is all the unaccounted for broken bones that people figure out what are broken at the hospital. Like you're not there to
No, I just
clean up the
guessing.
damage. You're like
This is what I guess was broken.
yeah, they get all the assertion later. Not to mention all that the fight ring stuff. Like
My favorite was like when I woke up in the morning, my fist was all ulcerated and it was really, really sore, and there was this wound in my knuckles. And I went digging around in there because it really hurt, and I pulled half a fucking tooth out from between two of my fucking fingers, and I was like, "Oh, that's really gross." Oh, and I had to put so much polysporin in there because human mouths are so gross.
you could find out who that was. You could take that
Yeah.
dental
Right.
and run it and be
Right.
like, Jerry.
I just flushed that shit. I was like, enough of that.
That's great. That's for
Well,
sure.
I have to
making-
thank my roommates at the time who took my rings off when I passed out on the couch. If they hadn't taken my rings off, I probably would have lost fingers from the swelling because my hand had really just blew up.
Wow.
Well, people are fucking dirty. End of story. People are fucking dirty. You get into a fist fight, you think you punch someone in the mouth, disinfect that shit. I'm not even kidding. You will get infections quick.
We got other amazing questions like how many bones have you broken?
Yeah,
He's got it.
Just let it come
That's
to
a
you.
tough one. Well, let's use that as a jumping off point. Jim, what about you? You've probably broken bones,
More than a couple, yeah.
right?
But actually, the story I want to tell you was, so I'm a father, and my daughter, she's beautiful, she's tall.
That's why he broke her bones. Sorry.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, and she used to go to high school at East Scarborough, right? And you get the call.
How east?
Well, almost Pickering, so very close.
Yeah, so where I live, I
Yeah.
get it. East Scarborough.
East
Deep
Scarborough.
Scarberia.
East
Ten-
deep.
It's
East.
It's intense
And,
out there, yeah.
And her mom's Scottish, so she's she's not white, she's transparent, So anyway, but I always told her don't get into fights, but the same thing, protect yourself, right? So I get the call. Your daughter's been in a fight, and I thought somebody had hurt my daughter, and I'm livid, and seeing red, and I'm driving across the 401 doing a $160, $180. I don't even know how fast I was going because I was.
You're doing kill somebody speeds.
I'm
yeah.
West End. I'm driving East End to get there to beat the crap out of somebody that touched my daughter, right? And
The Liam Neeson Taken character is based off of Jim Tooby. That's a little known fact.
and I pull in, and I don't even
He's
remember.
got a specific
I
set
don't
of
remember
skills.
parking, and they have the
Yeah.
they have the big bouncers at the high schools and
The
stuff.
big bouncers.
and they just see me and they're like, oh yeah, well they no offense. we
Jim's
can't-
tough as fuck, but he's not that tall. That big bouncer comment is just kind of superfluous, but okay.
But they kind of recognize that I'm one of the only white
Psychotic
guys
father
there.
ready to
and then
roll?
Yeah. Oh, just go to the office, and I look at her, and she's fine. Nothing. No, she's not a scratch on her. I'm like, oh, well, what happened? And talking to her and stuff, and it's like, well, she said they started talking crap about me, and they had long hair. So I took them down, and I'm like, oh. And I didn't say anything, and I was like, okay, well, took her back, and my folks were nearby, so I took him back there, and I had to cool down. And my dad is old English. Like, he fought in World War II. He was a Spitfire pilot, and very sincere and serious and stuff. And he said, "Oh, Victoria got in a fight." It's like, "Oh, that's terrible." It's like, "Oh no, she's fine. She beat the other girl." And Dad's like, "Good for you." I was like, I'm so proud of her. So proud.
That's great.
To get the grandparents'
Thank you.
approval, that's always important.
Well, I didn't get Dad's approval. No, I'm joking. Dad was a great guy too. So, but,
That was pretty much what I got from my grandparents. They're like, what? He got into a fight? He won? He's not gay? What do you mean he's not gay? Well, he's into flowers and art and reading and stuff. Like, what? Yeah, I like botany and art and reading. Like, yo, I'm a literary man.
I do have a question. Actually, I wanted to go back to the swastika.
All right.
Question?
We're going back to
Always
the
back to the swastika.
Always go back to the swastika.
Great. I knew I shouldn't have mentioned that one.
No, that was
It's-
real.
All
You
right,
don't hold
all right,
back.
all right.
You
Here
don't
we
hold
go.
back.
This is
Okay,
definitely not going
so
to be the title of this episode.
Because this is what I'm picturing. Because you did the swastika and you looked in the mirror. Was the swastika backwards when you walked into court? Because if you do it in the
Smart.
mirror, I'm just wondering. That's
You know what? It probably was.
why she probably looked at you.
It
And
probably
goes,
was
"Oh, you know
because
what?"
I was like straight messed up.
Yeah.
I was drunk as fuck, and I'm like, I don't want to go to fucking church. This is ridiculous.
So she's looking at you with a backward swastika. It's like, wait, he tried. I mean, just send him home. I
Right.
don't.
Is this like a new movement? Like,
And
We're the neo nouveau Nazis, okay? Like, we only wear puce.
The Ezans.
The Ezan.
The Ezans, backward Nazis.
All right, let's-
They're the opposite of Nazis.
Can we get rid of that in post production, please?
No,
Like-
everything stays. This is unedited.
just going to be the color code screen.
yeah.
Yeah, just gone.
This was good.
Jabril.
Jabril the Thrill.
Jabril's got hunger in his eyes. What do you got for us, Jabril?
He's got nothing. For the record, Jabril the Thrill's got nothing today. It's okay.
Well,
maybe
so that's what
Jabril-
he's got. He's got hungry eyes.
Jabril came out last week. We went out with Karim.
Yeah, we had
Jabril.
a
It was
really good old. We had a really
the
good.
crew-
We
the
had a
crew
really
got
good
together.
time.
Sorry, Jim. Where were you?
I think we got the most drunk we've
We
ever
were
been together.
sinning.
I was there. You just
And-
didn't call us. but-
and there were, unclean women around. It was. I know, because I ended up with a half pitcher of beer in my shoe. It was an amazing time.
We had a misidentification of somebody.
That was the favorite. The guy showed up, and one of the girls with us, she thought was this guy who worked with her on some production somewhere. And I knew right away. The guy looked. He had a Playboy tattoo. Okay, right away I was like, no, this guy's just a douchebag. But she's like, no, I think I know this guy. Are you Tom? Whatever. He never said he was, but he just never said he wasn't.
Right.
So he stood there for a while being like, blah, 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 until it was pretty, abundantly clear he was just obviously some drunken douchebag, the whole time. So I take a picture right away. The guy's standing there. First thing you know, hey, he looks over, I'm like, right in his face. He's like, and then I'm looking for image searching the guy, right in front of him, you are not who you think you say you are.
We told her that he wasn't. It was a
Right.
director on a project that we've all worked with, and she was like, "That's Rob," and we're like, "That's not Rob."
That's
And
totally
she's like,
not
"It is
Rob."
Rob."
But
And
then we were like, wait, maybe it is Rob. Why don't
Right?
you go
Yeah,
say
yeah.
hi?
We were all watching her, and she's like, "Oh my god, it was so nice.
It
to
wasn't
work with
Rob.
You.
Let's put
It's
it that
so
way.
good to see you."
Now we were all there, so we were all within 2 feet away. So if anything went down, we would have.
Oh, no, come on. I was standing right there, trying to face image search the guy, taking more
Yeah.
photographs. So if he'd gotten violent, it would have been turned into human
just kinda be
origami.
whatever.
was
But we were
hilarious.
just letting.
Look,
it
he
ride
pulled
as
the
long
tail
as
and the head
we
goes
could.
like this. You know what I mean? He would have been done. It's fine.
We were just letting that ride. It
So
was, it
the
was
moral of that story is, you should, if you want to come
Don't
party
pretend
with
to be
us,
Rob.
don't pretend to be Rob. And also, if you want to come party with us, you got to come down to a live taping here at 18:30 every Monday night at 10.
That's
And then you
right.
can party with us for the rest of the night, and Bob will be here
And
to
you get
figure
the
it out.
blacklisted story. You can see Jabril after hours.
Ooh.
You can see Karim from Cifer Pics and have a knife fight with him. You can pair knives. Same with Jim Tooby.
Sometimes the shirts stay on. Sometimes
Right.
they don't.
Things get crazy. Hit us up at 39DD Show on Facebook and Instagram. Watch
the
full
shirts usually
episodes on
stay
YouTube.
on. Okay, but
Stay
that's
tuned
all
for us coming onto iTunes.
Oh, they just came. These people just came, and we're about to finish. What a great time to finish.
Wow, what a great
Give it up,
audience.
guys. We did it. 39
One more
Drunk and
time.
Disorderlies.
Thank you,
Great
ladies
job.
and gentlemen. We love you.
Yeah, yeah.
Out there in the wild world of drunken debauchery. Thank you. Good night.